All right. What's good, my laughing gas peeps? It's your boy Marweezy right here, my boy J Lyrics.
Hey, what's happening, fam? It's the boy J Lyrics.
And of course, we got our boy Bulldog Poppy back.
Hey, miss you guys.
Welcome back.
And first of all, I want to thank you guys. Today, we're going to be at a very special place, guys. We're right here at Dr. Boocharts, and we're with Karl and Chaz, the owners, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys can introduce yourselves a little bit and tell everybody who you are.
Yeah. Well, I'm Chaz Reinhardt. I'm a doctor here in local community, holistic doctor, and we'll talk about kind of like how it began.
Yeah, of course.
But that was the inspiration. It's holistic.
Nice.
So we'll get into that a little bit. And I've been here my whole life. I was born and raised. I was actually born here in Escondido.
Palomar Hospital.
They just tore it down.
The one that just tore it down. Hey, shout out to the Palomar Hospital because they saved my life. I was there when really? I was in a major accident years ago where I almost died.
Oh my!
And they were the ones that saved my life, and it was actually pretty scary because it was during the time of like those October fires. I don't know if you guys remember. It was in 2007.
2007.
There was these October fires in California.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody was. You can see like the whole everything was like ashy. It was gray.
Oh right. Yep.
So I was there in Palomar. So shout out to them. It sucks that they closed it down, but there's a new one now.
Yeah.
Right.
For the community.
Right.
Nicer one.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole nother podcast right there about your story. I'm sure.
Yeah. So what about you, Karl?
What's up, guys? My name's Karl. I'm the brewmaster here at Dr. Boocharts. I started out growing up here in the vibrant San Diego craft beer scene, so that inspired me to want to open my own brewery one day, and now here I am at Dr. Boocharts.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And how did you guys meet each other?
Well, we've been family friends for quite a long time. My wife, his mother, are very close, very tight, and actually his mother works for us here at our health center up in Valley Center, and so my wife and I are both holistic chiropractors and healers, and we have a business up there called Crossroads Holistic Health Center. And so Karl is actually a family friend. He was a friend through my kids. They were friends. Karl was homeschooled, right?
We pretty much grew up together.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, Chaz almost like a second dad to me. So it really helps make this feel like a family business here with the close relationship that we have. It was a big benefit starting the business too because we already had some of that pre-existing trust, that pre-existing relationship with each other. That stuff that's important when you go into business together.
Yeah, that's the beauty of like friendships and all that. How sometimes you don't have to be family to love each other that much.
Yeah, one quick note was
of course.
I remember Karl being a youngling. You know, he's probably 10 or 12 years old. He's a little older than my boys, just a few years. But they would gather at their homeschool gathering, and they would come over in the yard and they would play, and they'd be goofing off and having a good time. And I looked over and I saw Karl talking on a fake cell phone at 12 years old. Back then, it wasn't plugged in, or it didn't have any service or anything else. But he's talking and he's having a business conversation.
Whoa! At 12?
At 12, he's having a business conversation. At 12 years old, and I went, light bulb. I went, okay, if Karl and I get together, I know he's destined to be a businessman. That is a certain.
For sure.
That's cool. And here you guys are now.
Well,
you guys are now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Escondido,
Right
you
here,
guys,
close to home.
Yeah, exactly.
And what a fantastic partner he is.
Yeah, and if you guys want to tell everybody where we're at right now, like
We're right here on the main strip of Escondido, Grand Avenue. Exact address 105 East Grand Avenue, literally across the street from O'Sullivan's Irish Pub. Most people here in Escondido know O'Sullivan's. They're definitely a staple of the community. You can literally look right across the street from them and see us over here. So great prime location, and we're super excited for Cruising Grand to come back this
Oh my
year
God,
and be
it's
a
about
part
to
of it.
come. When does it start?
May 3rd.
May
Wow.
3rd.
So it's
May
gonna
Friday,
be popping here,
Friday
guys.
night.
Come and drink some kombucha here and enjoy some classic cars. But I urge you guys to come over here. It's amazing. It's beautiful. This is my first time being here. I'm very thankful for you guys to have us here, and I love it. I already took some videos of all the place. I love all the details. Attention to details is key. So I love all the creativity.
You know,
And the
Karl,
taste.
Carl and I built this by ourselves, including putting in the floor. I mean,
you guys designed it and everything too?
The whole thing, start to finish. We did it ourselves, all
artists.
of everything.
I mean, Chaz really was the creative vision behind the theme and the decor in here. I was just the muscles that, hammered the stuff in the walls, hold this here, put that floor there. But yeah, a lot of the design up here was really Chaz's creative vision.
Chaz has a really cool card too, guys. It goes with the whole vision too. We'll have our director to, put a picture of it right here so everybody can see the cool card.
It'll be down at Cruising Grand this year.
Do you bring it out and park it in front?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it goes right in front. Yep.
Cruising Grand is very special for those who don't know what Cruising Grand is. Actually, me and Mark Weezy with his dad, a Trans Am, right?
Yeah.
A good Trans Am. We used to cruise early high school days down the Grand, and it was just awesome to see it. What would say? Well, we graduated. I don't want to say how old. Cause I graduated 06, class of 2006. So I think it was early 2002 since freshman.
I was actually asking what year Trans Am it was.
I see. Production, go ahead and edit this right here.
Kanye would say, "Gotcha."
That was good.
No. But yeah, we're really excited to come out here. Thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to come out here, and we should start with a cheers, man. We should start with try out some yummy, delicious.
All right. Do you guys want to talk a little bit of of the kombucha? What flavor is it that we're about to try?
Brewmaster, would you have at it?
Today we have a flavor that is actually very special to me. It's our steam hopper. It's a dry hopped hard kombucha, so it does have some techniques that are used in brewing beer, coming from my beer brewing background before I got into the kombucha. So it's kind of like my ode to grapefruit IPA, my favorite beer style, but done with a kombucha, a much lighter base, which really lets the grapefruit shine through a lot more. And when you smell it, you get that nice hoppy aroma. Really one of my favorite flavors on the menu, actually.
I actually wanted to ask that question because I was curious because I love beer. I'm a beer drinker.
Yeah.
So is there a big difference between brewing beer and then kombucha? So is it
huge
similar?
difference?
It really is
huge
not the same
difference.
process?
So beer starts with a grain. You usually have to take barley or wheat or one of those grains, and you have to make this thing called a mash. So you take that grain, you grind it up, you have to boil it in water for like an hour, and then you take that sweet grain water, it's called wort, and then you add your hops to it, and then you put it into your fermenter and make yeast. It's a whole big process. It takes many hours of the day. Kombucha, on the other hand, you're making a tea. We use yerba mate as our tea base. I'm making a tea. I make a sweet tea. Lots of sugar for the kombucha to eat, and then that ferments for about 10 days. Here's where kombucha is a little bit different from beer, is that you got to do a 2-step fermentation process with kombucha. First of all, you ferment the kombucha. But kombucha doesn't make alcohol on its own. It makes probiotics, which are important for gut health. You find them in a lot of foods like yogurt. So kombucha by itself does not ferment alcohol. It ferments probiotics. But obviously, people want to get a buzz on. They want to have a good time. They want alcohol. So then we have to ferment the kombucha a second time with alcohol yeast. We actually use a champagne yeast strain to get the alcohol. So after that second fermentation, then we have our hard kombucha, which is what you guys are drinking today.
Oh, wow. That's
so then, Chaz, since you're the master behind the design and all that, what inspired you to do for the name and the design?
Great question.
Thank you. Well, about the kombucha first. Okay, the design for the business came later, but the design for our intention was first.
Right there. Okay.
For years, patients would come into the practice, and patients who'd like to drink alcohol, including myself, and they're asking me, what do I drink so I don't get a hangover? What do I drink that doesn't wreck my liver? What do I drink that's not so hard on my brain and my heart and my cardiovascular? What is it? And there wasn't really a good answer, to be honest with you. And even in all the alcohol market, there's not a good answer. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
Now, as a holistic practitioner, I figured out that there are certain nutrients and vitamin compounds that aid to protect the body from the alcohol. And so as patients would ask these things, I would come up with a nutritional protocol that if they're going to drink, they would take these vitamins.
Oh, okay.
See? So the vitamins would help to metabolize the alcohol and actually detoxify it so that it doesn't have those negative effects that we were just talking about.
Nice.
So I thought, boing, I got an idea. Why don't I just put the vitamins in the alcohol?
There you go.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Wow. That's the master right there.
And as soon as that idea came to consciousness, Karl was right there. And I knew he had this beer background and he was going after brewmastership and he's obviously a wonderful person. I trust Karl. So I said, Karl, I got a great idea for us. How about we do a company, but let's do it a little bit differently than anything that's ever been done before. Let's make the healthiest form of alcohol. We'll start with something like a kombucha alcohol, which is known to be a healthier alternative to beer and wine and hard alcohol already. And then we'll add what we call is our elixir of life, this compound of vitamins and nutrients, into the product so as to aid the product to make even a greater step toward our goal.
Just those words that you say, awesome. Elixir of life, it just makes you want it. It just makes you like the Knights Templar, they're about to go get the Holy Grail.
Yeah,
that's how I feel when I'm about to drink some.
So Karl, you got that call that you had when you were 12 years old.
Yeah.
You guys, it happened. You guys manifested it and worked out. You guys had the business call in person.
Law of attraction. That's the way it works.
Power of visualization.
It's true.
So Chaz, so he reached out to me with this idea in the spring of 2020. So it was right after the pandemic had shut anything down. At the time, like February 2020, I was actually applying for a job with Karl Strauss Brewery, very well-regarded brewery in the community. I was super excited to get my foot in the door with the brewery, start getting into the craft beer scene, and then the pandemic hit, and they're like, well, hey, we can't really hire anybody when we're shut down. So at that point, I'm just like, crap, well, there goes that idea. So right when it seemed like one door closed, Chaz came to me and another door opened. And I could have ended up going in with the beer and just being another guy making another IPA, and there's a lot of those in San Diego, but what I really like about the kombucha is it's a much more of a niche product. It's kind of out there blazing its own path right now. We have some flavors on our menu. One in particular is called the pomegranate popper. It's a blend of pomegranate and jalapeno. No other kombucha company has done that flavor combination but us. We are the only kombucha brewery that has combined pomegranate and jalapeno, and so getting those opportunities to make a completely new flavor profile that nobody's tried yet, you can't do that in beer. Every IPA has been done. Every pale ale has been done. Every stout has been done. There's nothing new in beer, so I really like what we're able to do here with not only the Elixir Life and being the only alcoholic product on the market to have anything even close to that, but then to also be kind of pioneering the hard kombucha space with the flavors that we're doing. So it's a lot more fun to be doing something new than it is to just be another guy doing the same thing as everybody else.
Exactly. Awesome. And that's what makes you guys stand out. The flavor is amazing. When I first tried it, I had told Chaz I'd never tried it. I'm a tequila drinker. Totally. I always drink tequila. But he tried to put me on some kombucha, but I didn't like it. I tried different ones, but nothing compared to the kombucha you
really
guys
make.
And that is what we hear. We hear time and time again. We have a very special process in the manufacturing process to try to keep it as healthy as possible, and even trying to keep it as keto friendly as possible. In other words, very low carbohydrate and low glycemic index. That's the key. So the blood sugar spike is very low. The carbohydrate and insulin metabolism is optimal as we can make it as well. And all of our ingredients in here are completely organic.
So I have another question to kind of piggyback off what you were saying. Is kombucha like a newer thing? Is it like a Southern California thing? Because I've said I love to drink. I've been drunk all over the world. I've been drunk I've been in Germany, all over the U.S. And I've lived in Austin. Austin, Texas is very similar to California. There's a lot of craft beer, but I've never heard of this stuff until I moved here a few months ago. I've never heard of it. So is it like a newer thing, or?
Kombucha in its non-alcoholic form has been drank in Asian cultures for thousands of years.
I know that.
The alcoholic variety, that is very new. I would say GT's kombucha was the one that really made kombucha big. They started out, I think, 1996, and they're now the biggest kombucha brand in the world. They're the ones that are responsible for really putting kombucha out on shelves and making it more mainstream.
So are they like all over the U.S.?
They were not the ones that started hard kombucha. Okay. The first hard kombucha company actually came from, surprise, surprise, San Diego County.
Yay! Shout out SD.
Yeah. So not only is San Diego capital of craft beer, but it's also kind of the capital of hard kombucha too, because the first hard kombucha company, Boocharts, they opened in 2016, I believe, and then the biggest hard kombucha company in the country, Juneshine, is also based out of San Diego. So we have the largest one, the original one, and the best one, all here in San Diego County.
Yeah, we're number 3 in that list.
No, this tastes amazing. So, so everybody, like, do you guys change your flavors? Do you guys experiment with, like, by seasons? Do you guys have a different flavor, like a surprise flavor or something? Or
yeah, we come out with seasonal flavors as well. And Karl, being a brainchild of flavoring, and I mean, he's thinking about these processes constantly, and he's like, hey, what about this flavor? Hey, what about this flavor?
Nice.
And
I really do enjoy the creative outlet of coming up with flavors.
That's awesome.
Is there one flavor that you guys mixed the wrong things? Or obviously you guys were just trying out different things that you're like, yep, I'm definitely not gonna put those 2 ingredients in. Is there any of those? I'm sure you had a couple.
Oh yeah, we definitely had our R&D phase, brewing up different flavors down in the basement and seeing what was gonna work and what wasn't. Our first flavor, our original flavor, Booster Berry, we had all these different things we were messing around with. We were trying like acai berries, blueberries, elderberries, black cherries, all kinds of different berries, and all these different ratios. And we just kind of happened upon the perfect ratio, which ended up being a little bit of black cherry, a little bit of blueberry, and a little bit of elderberry. And yeah, it definitely, you can make some mistakes sometimes, but that's why we have practice batches, or pilot batches are what they're known as in the industry. But you always start with a smaller batch of something to get it right before you make a bigger full-scale batch, just so that if there are any mistakes, it's a lot easier to dump out 5 gallons than it is to dump out 50 or 100 or 500 when you get really big.
Of course. Right. So you guys brew in small batches then?
So right now, we do about 100 gallons at a time of our hard kombucha. So in the grand scheme of things, that is definitely on the smaller side. But if you compare it to home brewers making like 5 gallons at home, it's pretty big. So yeah, we're definitely growing and getting bigger. And especially to look at where we were back in 2020, it really does feel like we're making a lot of product right now. Nice.
And then what is the one kombucha? Which one's that one flavor that started it all? The one that you guys said, oh my God,
that's baby. It's this beautiful one, this libation right here, the Booster Berry,
purplish red color. Everything about it's a winner. The color, the sweetness of the berries. You can actually get almost a little bit of a champagne-y note of the yeast in there as well to make it just a really light, vibrant flavor. Yeah, it's super tasty. That's why it was our original one, and it's the one that gave us the confidence to move forward and make this a real business and take on the investment that goes into opening up a building like this. And when we opened this place, Booster Berry was our only flavor. All the other flavors on our menu, we have 7 hard kombucha flavors now and a couple non-alcoholics. Those all came after opening the brewery here.
Nice. Wow. Also, you have a non-alcoholic as well for the people who want to come.
We have a few different
for
types.
The DDs.
Yeah, so the non-alcoholics, those really do rotate a lot. So the non-alcoholics, because I only make those about 10 gallons at a time, they do rotate a lot faster than the seasonal, more hard kombuchas. My favorite seasonal one, we do a lemonade series. We call it Gizmo's Lemonade, but over the seasons it rotates. So right now in springtime we're doing elderberry lemonade. For summertime it's a strawberry lemonade.
Wow,
that one's awesome. Yeah, the strawberry lemonade is a fan favorite. It's my personal favorite of the series. But then we also do a lavender lemonade in the fall. That one's been really popular as well, and I'm considering working a peach lemonade into the rotation as well. So that way we have four lemonades to rotate out
for each season.
So that's a great example of our seasonal concepts. Right now we have a cinnamon apple pie that was our winter seasonal flavor. We're kind of running out of it now, moving out of winter, but it will be back next fall around Thanksgiving, and we do have some other seasonal flavors in the works for the summer as well.
Yep.
Nice. So then, what inspired you to have Dr. Boocharts here in Escondido on Grand? I know we're in San Diego and there's so many other places to do it. Is it because you grew up here?
Well, when we originally were looking for a location, I mean, we were brewing out of my house and literally in our basement. Originally, when we first
that's how it all starts, like Amazon.
you know, and it's not a bad basement. You know where I live.
Yeah, that's true. It is not.
But that said, in all of the science and we were looking originally at the beach and the coast, but the impetus and the amount of effort to build it and to be there, and you know, I still have my full-time, you know, healing profession that I'm committed to. So driving down to the coast or something was probably not logistically, you know,
makes sense.
Makes sense. So
yeah, of course.
Escondido made sense. Karl lives in Escondido. I live up in Valley Center, so we're, you know, it's not too far for us. We're both local. We have a lot of support in the community. Our friends, our family, patients, other people. Our marketing is all here.
Yeah, Bruce and Grand actually played a factor too.
Yeah.
Knowing that if we were to open up a spot here on this street, we'd have that event every Friday, every summer, and especially too with Chaz having that badass car, it almost made too much sense to put our business on a street where that car could be showcased on a regular basis.
Exactly.
We do hope to open a second location over in the coast somewhere down the road, but it's going to be much smaller, kind of more of just a tap room, whereas this is a big enough building to have a full production brewery in here with the tap room. So keep that footprint small where it's more expensive on the coast. And because at the end of the day, the hottest kombucha markets are over there on the coast. Lots of kombucha sells in Carlsbad and Encinitas and Del Mar. So at some point it will be good to get ourselves in over there. But Escondido made sense for the main headquarters brewery to be.
And also we do want to support our community. We love Escondido. We love Valley Center. We love San Marcos and Poway and Rancho Bernardo and all the local people here. And we want to give to the community and give the community a place to go that's safe. The alcohol's safer. The vibe in here seems to be, on reports, higher in the fact that you don't have to worry about, you know, lurching individuals and people that are kind of low vibration. It's like people who are attracted to this market.
It's classy.
Yeah, people who are attracted to the market tend to be of a higher consciousness. Yes. And we appreciate that, bringing that, supporting that aspect for Escondido.
And that's what we focus on, community. Community is facts.
Yeah,
it's key.
Absolutely.
You know, we got to focus on our community before we keep on growing, you know, because that's our roots.
Definitely.
And you know, now that we're talking about, before I forget this question, I know that you're a holistic doctor. You run this business. You have a family, Chaz. So I want to know, how do you manage all that? How are you able to manage all that, being an entrepreneur? I know sometimes there's some crazy milestones being an entrepreneur.
It's herding cats, you know. It's like, or spinning plates. You know, you spin one plate and then you got to go spin another one and another one and another one on the sticks. You know, and then one starts to slow down. You got to go spin that one, and you come back and spin the other one again, and you got to go back and forth. You're always on the move.
Yeah. So do you ever have any free time? Do you have any
free time? I do. I definitely have free time to exercise, and that's about it.
He exercises a lot. You know, we have a big old ranch where he exercises.
Exactly.
So that's why I usually get to talk to him. It's always a good talk with him. Yeah. You know, good vibes. Do you have any family? Do you have kids?
I have a fiance and I have a couple of fur babies, but beyond that, I don't have too much of my own family. I mean, you know, I grew up here in Valley Center, so my parents are around and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely a lot less on my plate than Chaz has, having kids and everything. Even though his kids are a little more grown up now, a couple of them are off at college. But yeah, you know, definitely.
It's such a God thing to have Karl here and he isn't overloaded, so he can focus all the extra minutia that this takes to go into manifest mode, as our next intention is to get into stores, get a distributor, blow up in San Diego, that you can buy Dr. Boocharts anywhere, then move north into Orange County and Los Angeles and go California. We hit that market, do that, open up another production site, and then start stamping nationwide. That is our ultimate goal.
Oh, nice. No, you guys are going to do it because your recipes, the tastes are just, like I said, it's amazing. And I urge you guys to come and check it out in Escondido. Especially right now when the Cruise and Grind is coming, guys. You guys are going to love it. Love the vibes here. I really, I want to keep trying more. I think the only ones that I've tried is the mule.
Yeah, we should have got you a flight.
Yeah, we got to try the
Yeah,
we'll send you home. We'll send you guys home with a few.
But so far, the ones that I tried, I love them.
Oh, great.
I love everything, you know, and again, I'm new at kombucha. But in the ones that I've tried, I didn't like, but this one, I love.
They're definitely refreshing.
If you notice, our kombucha does not taste vinegary.
That's
correct.
True.
And that is a hallmark for people who don't like kombucha. They don't like that vinegar taste, like an apple cider vinegar. Yeah, it's too gamey. It's too acidic or something.
Correct.
This is a different taste, flavor profile altogether than almost any other kombucha I've ever had.
Yeah.
Chaz, I know you spoke about the kombucha, and I know before my train, I lose my train of thought. You said you started in your basement.
Yes.
So what challenges did you face that you have now that structure you now where you're at now?
The experimental phase is always a challenge. When you're developing a product, no matter what you do, I mean, you guys are developing your business here, and when I had to start and develop my business at Crossroads Health Center, I mean, it takes a lot of there are a lot of things that pages you got to turn, and a lot of different parts in motion, and this was no different. And you asked earlier, and I didn't answer you directly. I kind of re-steered it, but now I'll answer it. The steampunk scientist is our logo. Okay, so the creative impetus of a steampunk scientist, like a mad scientist, is really what it took to get to this product. It took mad science, mad holistic science, but mad science still. Okay.
I just imagine you like, and I don't know if you've seen this one commercial where they're like, it was for that one. I don't want to say the company, to not give them any credit, but it's that canned water.
Oh yeah.
There's a commercial where they're like doing like some witchcraft. They're like stirring up, for the water so everybody can buy it.
That's awesome.
That's cool. No, I love it. I love the stuff, and I love how you guys are here in the community. You guys are impacting the community. The creativity is just crazy. This is the first time meeting you, Karl, and I love, how educated you are about kombucha, how much you know about how passionate about brewing it. Like, oh my God, you're a master.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think the passion shows through in the finished product. Like a lot of times people say in cooking, you can taste the passion a chef puts into their food. I'd like to think you can taste my passion in my kombucha when you come in here and you try it.
Now that we're talking about that tasting, is there like a specific way to connoisseur this? Because I know in tequila and vodka, different alcohols, there's a way to do it. Like tequila, what we do is we smell it from both sides so we can get both part of our brains. Before we drink it, is there a way you can drink it, or just sip it?
I would say, you can treat it like a beer, like a wine, in that you definitely want to give it a good smell. Each one's going to have a different aroma. The steam hopper here is a very citrusy, hoppy aroma, like our steampunk mule that you mentioned earlier. That one has a very sharp, gingery aroma. So different flavors, they'll smell different, but the most apparent difference is usually in the taste and the flavor. So drinking it, it's really like drinking a beer. The ABV is kind of like a beer. So the way you would go about tasting a beer, I would say, is about the way you go about tasting a kombucha.
Nice.
Definitely refreshing. Sorry to cut you off, Arweezy.
No, go ahead.
Thinking about where can they find this? Can they order it online? Do they have to come down here to get it? Or I know you guys are thinking of, starting in different areas. I can definitely see myself sipping one of these by the coast, by the nice breeze.
So right
but
now we're mostly only selling through our own tap room here in Escondido, but we do have a few draft accounts. So there's a couple board and brews that have us on draft right now. You can find us at Burger Bench up the street. You can find us at Pounders down the street. Most of our accounts are going to be local here to Escondido, but we are working on getting more kegs out to more bars so that people can start to get us out and about.
Yeah. Do you guys have growlers?
We do fill growlers if you bring in your own growlers. We do also have 22-ounce bottles for sale here of all of our flavors. So we have a fridge up in the tap room. It's got all our flavors and bottles ready to go. We are working on cans. We're wanting to get those done sooner rather than later, but it is a bit of a process to develop the can label. Canning company has to print out the cans, ship them over here. We've got to get a canning company in to fill the cans. There's a lot of moving parts that goes with that. So, it's hard to put an exact timeline on when they'll be ready, but we're trying to get them done as fast as possible. So that way we can start getting into some liquor stores and some other things like that. That way we can get into even more people's hands.
Yeah. And for the people for the little guy who's out there barely starting to do maybe brew their own kombucha or something out of the garage, what do you guys, what do you guys have to say to them? Is there any experiences or lessons that you guys have learned throughout this so they can give them, advice? What kind of advice for them?
Well, I would say go for it, make your mistakes. It's the labor of love is not free of error. And so as you pick yourself up and dust your feet off, you continue your journey. So I'm a fan of go for it and continue and do not be discouraged. We came across some great epiphanies to get to that product right there along the way, because our motive was health oriented. So it comes from, like, our water is special and it's free of things like fluoride. Other products are not. So we start with the water. We start with a special SCOBY that's been specifically hybridized. It's different than the other SCOBYs. Which is what makes the kombucha. We start with different ingredients. We have different types of sugars. Everything about it has come about to match our intention to try to make at least for alcohol, the healthiest version of it that we could possibly do. That is our motive. And so we wanted to really just be an answer to alcohol, not just another alcohol company. We wanted to be a solution giver, something that you could drink, you could give it to you'd feel guilt-free if your over 21 child is drinking the alcohol that you gave them, right? So your loved ones, because I don't want to discourage the industry at all. I love the industry. It's fantastic, but we all well know, that not all alcohol is the same.
Yeah, of course.
And it varies not only from brand to brand and company to company. So our intention is resolved. We're just trying to do the best we can. I think we got it.
Yeah,
so
it's a special place.
We're really proud of it.
Yeah,
you guys are doing a great job. And what about you? Is there any advice you want to give?
To build off of what Chaz said there a little bit with mistakes and stuff. Yeah, you got to embrace those mistakes when you start, and you got to understand that even if you make a mistake, it doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't fit to do what you're trying to do. You got to be able to look at it and learn from it and move forward again. So it's a lot of just, even when you're down, picking yourself back up and trying again, having that, that resolve to keep going forward no matter what. So it's definitely one of those things where I feel a lot of people expect in business, if it's what you're meant to do, it's going to be an easy path and you're going to do everything right and it's just all going to come to you. Exactly. And then they'll have a mistake happen and they'll be like, oh no, this went wrong. I'm not meant to do this, and they'll just give up on the whole thing right there. When if they just push through that mistake and they've learned the lesson that's in the mistake, who knows, maybe right on the other side of that is the success they were looking for, but they're never going to find it out because they stopped at the mistakes. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's really just not letting those mistakes discourage you and just pushing forward.
Passionate. I remember one of my teachers, my science teachers in middle school, he always said that, whatever you're going to do, make sure you're doing it because you love it, not just because it's a job. You know? And you guys, it seems like you guys are doing it because you love it. It seems you guys are creating these amazing, flavors from your heart, from your soul. You guys are giving to the community something that everybody's going to love. It's not because you guys are in it for the money or nothing like that. You guys are doing it for passion, for the community, for the people. And that's what we focus on our podcast.
I love it.
For the community.
We love to highlight, especially talented people. Like we said, passion.
Yeah.
We have the passion here. Me and Marvin, we go back with music, and we just the biggest thing here is highlighting and embracing the community. Right? It's important to take care of each other, and especially here, that's how you start by supporting your small businesses and your community itself.
So. What's that question that you were going to ask? The last question before we're about to be out of time.
Yeah. It's,
So we have one more question, and that'll be our closing question for you guys.
But first of all, we've been having such a good time.
It's amazing time.
Thank you guys for coming. Certainly,
it's been a blast.
No, thank you. It's amazing here. It's beautiful. Thank you for the service, for making us feel so special.
Yeah,
and
making us feel.
Well, you are.
Not as special as you guys. I didn't come up with some bomb kombucha like you guys. So you guys are over my special rate already.
Thank you.
My question is, and you guys could take your turn to answer this, but what legacy would you like to leave behind in the industry and to the community itself when they get to hear from you and
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a good question. What legacy would you like to have? So I personally would answer that with the legacy is to shift the standard. And the goal here is, as integrity is the base of what you do, the alcohol industry hopefully will graduate to that. See, so for years it's never been that way. I mean, integrity, it was about the money. It's been about the market. It's about the what kind of car you drive, about what kind of house you have, all of that. But integrity is the new standard in today. And so the legacy that we are, at least my version of we and my mind, is that we are trying to spearhead a new form of alcohol that hopefully others will catch wind. Oh, we can do it a little bit healthier. And, at the end of the day, when people are healthier, they're happier.
Exactly.
Their families are happier when they're healthier. Their relationships are happier when they're healthier. And if we can just take a chip, even if it's just a negligible one for those who drink alcohol, and just take that equation out, the ones that were getting unhealthy, and to replace it with something that's healthy, what kind of legacy is that?
Yep.
I wouldn't ask for anything to leave to the world besides that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Good answer.
That was amazing.
Wow.
That was really good.
Very, very.
Carl,
That's
that
a
was
tough
good.
one. For sure.
They did over.
I mean, definitely, I agree with him there, but I do have a little bit of my own legacy, and it comes down to, growing up here in Valley Center and coming down to Escondido when I was a kid. I mean, I've been coming to Cruz and Grand since I was like a 16-year-old. I mean, I remember when I got my driver's license, the first thing I did that day is I drove myself down to Cruz and Grand by myself. That's the first thing I did to celebrate getting my driver's license. So it really is kind of a full circle moment for me to now be able to have an establishment here on the street, something that's making an impact in the community. And I hope to be able to leave a legacy someday where I help put Escondido on the map a little bit with what we do here. Kind of like how Stone has put Escondido on the map. To be able to do something like that where, people hear Dr. Boocharts and they think, oh, nice, they're from Escondido. And it's, it's a reason for people to think of Escondido beyond just what Stone has brought and just the fact that we're in Southern California and things like that. But yeah, that's the legacy I hope to add, is to have people know more about Escondido because of my company.
Yeah, and to our Mexican community, because I know us Mexicans, we don't really drink that much kombucha.
Yeah.
But I want you guys to know that this is better than beer. You guys gotta try
And
this.
you feel better.
It's
You
healthy.
feel better.
Makes you feel better.
Yeah.
It tastes amazing. So
Come out here, support it.
Yeah, you
Have
guys gotta
fun.
come out and support.
Pomegranate popper for the Latino community.
Yeah.
We'll the
Got a
Paloma
little
one, too.
spice.
Yeah,
The Paloma
that's
one's
it.
definitely
The
a
Paloma
Definitely,
one.
yeah, for sure. And we do a salsa night here. So about once a month, we have a salsa night on Sundays.
Oh,
It's
nice.
a lot of fun. Definitely, we do try to make the Latino community feel welcome here because it is such a big part of Escondido.
Yeah, definitely. So besides the salsa night, you know, we can go on a little bit more right now. I want you guys to tell the community. I know you guys do something special all the time.
Yeah.
What else do you guys do on the
Tonight's
daily?
Wednesday. We have an open mic night for any artist who wants to come, either comedian or
There you
poet
go.
or anybody who wants to get on stage and show their talent.
Is that every Wednesday?
Every
Yeah,
Wednesday.
every Wednesday.
single Wednesday,
See,
yeah.
start
Are you ready to get up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we're gonna have Eddie on there right now. Tell us some of his jokes from the military.
You probably have a few.
I don't have any jokes.
Oh no, a few stories, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesdays are our open mic. We on the weekends also have live music. So on Friday nights we usually have an acoustic setup, a 1 or 2 man acoustic setup, and then Saturdays we have full bands. So
Cool.
it's
like
in
a full-on band. Like
yeah,
with
and it's
the
it's
guitar, drums?
exciting
guitars,
happening. Yeah,
everything.
the whole
Yeah,
thing.
we
Yeah.
move some tables out of the way to make a little dance space. So definitely we try to book a lot of local talent from around the Escondido and Valley Center area. And then we also do accept bookings for other private events. So we've done things like a local canine charity here. We've held like a Gallons Day brunch. If there's any people in the community that are looking for a space to host their own event, reach out to us. We can help you out with that. We can definitely let you use our space and make arrangements for whatever vision you have. Reach out to us, and we'd love to help you out on that.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you guys very
Thank
much
you guys
for having us
us,
again.
man. Cheers to you guys and to all your
Cheers.
success.
Do a little
and
cheers.
your
All right,
continued
let's take our
growth.
glasses and clink them.
Cheers.
Cheers. There you go.
All right. Oh, you gotta get me. There we go. Salute.
With the pinky
All
up.
right, guys. I think she seeking
Wow.
for you. Here.
Well, that was amazing.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Hope
thank
you
you
guys
guys.
had a- Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
All right. Well.
Hope
Yeah.
you guys had a good experience.
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah.
Definitely learned a
All right,
little bit
fam.
more kombucha.
Yep, definitely. Well, thank you guys for joining us at the Laughing Gas Show, and we'll catch you next time.
Later, fam.
Peace.
All right.